From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, August 2nd. It's going to be another really hot day. We're going to march back toward the 90s. Heat index values will be in the mid-90s, and we're going to have really high humidity values again.
I want to begin by saying what I think all of us are thinking. And that is that we shouldn't be here this evening. Not for this person. Not at this time. And certainly not for this reason.
Words of sadness, confusion, and grief as the city of Elwood pays tribute to fallen police officer Noah Shahnavaz. City leaders held a prayer vigil last night at the Elwood Police Department. They prayed together and honored a hero gone too soon. Hundreds of community members spent the evening remembering the man Shahnavaz was, while showing their support to his friends and family.
It's moments like these when we search for words that will quench the pain and the burning inside that doesn't seem to stop when you lose someone so integral to the part of this community.
The Indiana Fallen Heroes Foundation set up an official memorial fund for Shahnavaz's family. Donations can be made at indianafallen.org. You can also visit any First Merchant Bank and reference the foundation to donate. And former classmates say Shahnavaz had a sense of humor and a smile that could light up a room. He graduated from Fishers High School. Friends say he played the snare drum in the school's percussion group. A fellow drummer says Shahnavaz always wanted to serve his community and become a police officer.
He was just a really great person to be around, always kind and laughing and just making sure that nobody around him was sad.
Friends tell us they will do whatever they can to support the officer's family. And the man accused of killing Shahnavaz is now formally charged with murder. A newly released charging document claims Shahnavaz never unholstered his gun and never even got out of his car. It says Officer Noah Shahnavaz's last radio transmission was that the driver he pulled over had a gun. Investigators found 36 rifle bullet casings at the scene. Shahnavaz was shot in the head and his body several times. Plus, the investigation found the suspect had made a song about killing police. The court documents say Shahnavaz stopped Carl Boards II for a traffic violation in Madison County and was quickly shot. Responding officers found Shahnavaz still in his patrol car and damage to the car's hood, windshield, and driver's side door. The autopsy report says because of severe trauma to Shahnavaz's body, it's not clear how many times he was shot. Once police caught Boards in his white Buick, police found a handgun on him and an AK-47 style rifle in the driver's seat. The probable cause also says that Boards owns a barber shop in Marion. A man there told police that Boards is known to carry a gun and made a recorded song making statements that if he was ever caught by police that he would kill them. The Madison County prosecutor says in this case, the officer's last words speak for themselves.
He gave the description of the vehicle and the license plate and then quickly said, "Oh, he's got a gun," and then shots started firing. It's indescribable. It's something we know that we face every single day. I'm disappointed that he wasn't on parole. He wasn't on probation in Marion County from the shooting at the officers there.
Board's criminal history shows many firearm violations and that he had shot at police and family in the past. In 1999, Boards was charged with battery using a deadly weapon after shooting at his father. He was found guilty and sentenced to 2 years in prison. He served 7 months. Then in April of 2001, he was sentenced to 10 years for drugs and illegally having a gun. He did not serve that full sentence. Then in 2006, Boards was arrested for the attempted murder of a police officer in Indianapolis. Court documents show he was pulled over and Boards fired 7 or 8 rounds at an officer. The officer was not hit. There was a chase that ended when Boards was tased. During that search of his vehicle, police found an AK-47. Boards was sentenced to 18 years in prison. He only served a few years and was released from parole in August of 2021. News 8 asked the Madison County prosecutor how Boards got the weapons in this case. He thinks someone had bought the handgun for Boards, but it's not clear how he got the rifle. Boers appeared in court yesterday, and the prosecutor says they're still considering whether to seek the death penalty. You can read the charging documents for yourself and see more extensive coverage of this case online right now at wishtv.com. And today, more public testimony and possible debate on the proposed Indiana abortion ban. Discussion shifted from the Senate to the House on Monday. Like Senate Republicans, House Republicans are divided over exceptions for rape and incest victims. Some Republicans say the legislation is not strict enough, and those exceptions should be taken out.
To enact partial justice, when you have the ability to be able to enact full justice for all the preborn, is evil. So if we're just going to do something that's partial here, doing nothing more than regulating abortion again, which, again, the Republicans in this state have done for decades, then no, I'm not going to be a part of that.
Meanwhile, Democrats say they're working to water down the bill as much as Republicans will allow.
We do the best we can on that, but it's just hard to know at the moment what exactly the House Republican supermajority wants to do. They have all the votes, and we can point things out, we can appeal to them, but at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones that are going to have to decide what they're doing.
Public testimony began at 9 o'clock this morning. Forecasters warn slow-moving storms will add to the catastrophic flooding in Kentucky. Searchers have found more victims. Governor Andy Beshear now says the confirmed count of deaths is 37, with hundreds of people still unaccounted for. Beshear is also warning that strong wind will topple more trees and utility poles. Beshear says once cell service is back, it will let rescuers contact more people and confirm that they're alive. There are also more members of Indiana Task Force 1 helping. The team sent 27 more people to Kentucky over the weekend, bringing the total to 59 members of the task force.
Justice has been delivered, and this terrorist leader is no more.
President Biden announces the death of the world's most wanted terror leader, a key planner of 9/11. A CIA drone strike killed Ayman al-Zawahiri. He was last seen as the top leader of al-Qaeda, taking over 11 years ago after the U.S. killing of Osama bin Laden. In announcing the drone strike's success, Biden said this to other terrorists.
The United States continues to demonstrate our resolve and our capacity to defend the American people against those who seek to do us harm. No matter how long it takes, no matter where you hide, if you are a threat to our people, the United States will find you and take you out.
Leaders say al-Zawahiri helped plan the 9/11 attacks, the bombings of several American embassies, and the murders of Americans in other countries. America's Rewards for Justice program offered $25 million for help finding al-Zawahiri. No word yet if anyone will get that. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi could be headed to Taiwan right now. She arrived in Malaysia overnight and left this morning. Pelosi's team hasn't made an official announcement, but local media in Taiwan report Pelosi will arrive in Taipei and stay overnight. China warns its military will not sit by if Pelosi goes. China regards Taiwan as a province it can annex by force if necessary. The White House says the U.S. has no interest in deepening tensions with China. Should Pelosi visit, she'd be the highest-ranking elected U.S. official to visit the country in more than 25 years. And President Biden is starting a third day of isolation from his COVID-19 rebound. In a new update, White House Dr. Kevin O'Connor writes that Biden feels well and will isolate until he tests negative. The president also isolated during his initial bout with the virus late last month.
Those symptoms that you have don't go away right away. They kind of linger. Those minimal symptoms kind of linger for some time. So you could expect that. And so with that, but there's no reoccurring symptoms. He's feeling fine.
Due to COVID protocols, Biden spoke to the country last night from the Truman balcony with a limited media staff. He's taking all meetings through Zoom or FaceTime. To business headlines, the Columbus-based Cummins will likely release its earnings report this morning. The company's been interesting to watch in recent years as its business in China was hurt by COVID restrictions. It's also impacted by rising diesel costs. Cummins executives reiterated their support of the CHIPS Act that was passed in Congress to build computer chips in the United States. A key report on the health of the job market is released. The Bureau of Labor Statistics has the results of June's JOLTS, or the Job Openings and Labor Turnover Survey. May's report showed 11.3 million job openings. That's outnumbered available workers by nearly 2 to 1. Today's report is set to come out at 10 a.m. Simon reports strong occupancy in its malls and raises its projections for this year. But it says that some of the retailers it owns stakes in are seeing sales soften as consumers cut down on discretionary spending to buy necessities such as gasoline and groceries. The CEO said inflation was starting to affect JCPenney, which the mall landlord co-owns with Brookfield Asset Management. U.S. manufacturing expanded at the slowest pace in 2 years. The figures highlight softer demand for merchandise as the economy struggles for momentum. The Starbucks union asked the coffee giant to extend pay hikes and benefits to unionized stores. In May, the coffee chain announced it would raise wages for workers at non-unionized stores. The company said it's unable to make changes at organized stores without collective bargaining. And Taco Bell is bringing back the Mexican pizza permanently. The CEO says it's going to be relaunching mid-September and it's going to be a permanent item. The Mexican pizza sold out quickly when it was brought back in May. And the contract battle between a top IndyCar star and his team could head to federal court. Alex Palou's attorneys are asking for the case to move out of Marion County Superior Court. Palou's team says too much money is at stake for the county court to hear it and that a diversity of citizenship applies since the driver and his racing company are Spanish and Chip Ganassi is a resident of Pennsylvania. Ganassi is suing Palou over Palou's plans to drive for McLaren next year. Ganassi says he still has Palou under contract. Court filings show Palou's team is preparing a countersuit against Ganassi for defamation. WNBA star Brittany Griner is back in court in Russia. Today's appearance marks Griner's 7th actual day in court since her trial started a month ago. She's accused of trying to smuggle cannabis oil in her luggage while traveling through Moscow. The Biden administration is proposing a prisoner swap to bring her and another American detainee home from Russia. The U.S. is offering to return convicted murderer Victor Bout to Russia in exchange for Griner and Paul Whelan. According to the reporting by CNN, Russian officials have countered the offer, asking America to also return a former intelligence official, also convicted of murder. And finally, to the Colts, an old player makes a new impact. Former All-Pro receiver Reggie Wayne returned to training camp as the wide receivers coach. Head coach Frank Reich says Wayne's experience allows him to connect well with players. Reich even uses Wayne's previous game footage to educate this year's receiving corps. Here's what Wayne has to say about it.
I'm not big on me per se showing them my stuff, so Frank does it for me, but if it helps, I'm all for it.
Wide receiver Michael Pittman says Wayne is one of the favorite coaches he's ever had. Pittman went on to say he's now using Wayne's previous game footage to learn more about the team, while Wayne says the receivers are hungry for that first win. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway. Online at wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.